Three, two, one. Welcome back to Quadrapod Studios. My name is Robin Unger. I'm behind the buttons and whistles here. Today we have host Kit Warren, as always,
Great Awakening.
and returning guest G.
Blessings.
Yeah.
And today we are going to discuss cryptocurrencies, more specifically Bitcoin and utility. We touched on a bunch of different aspects of it last time, but for sure we're going to go over a few of them again today. But I'm going to get into the way G's been seeing the landscape going the last couple months since we spoke with him, and talked to us about all sorts of opportunities involved in Bitcoin.
That's right.
Kit, welcome. Take it away, sir.
Awesome, Robin. Thanks very much. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Quadrapod Studios, the unsponsored media station bringing the information to the people, unbiased. No sponsorship means no money paid to us for the real information. So I'm so happy to have G here and bringing the crypto knowledge to Victoria, North Park, downtown Victoria. Welcome, G.
Thank you, Kit.
Yes, we've got a bunch of questions. Everybody's got questions. You know, the market is up and down when it comes to the coin value, but we have some information from you that will secure people's minds into understanding this crypto world or Bitcoin world. And
That's correct.
Yeah, we want to. Which part was correct? The Bitcoin part?
The explanations on what's happening right now in the Bitcoin bit.
Yeah.
The Bitcoin part.
Yeah, because it's jumping, it's flying, and people don't know. They don't really, they're not really getting information that might be clear.
Mm-hmm.
So, one thing we wanted to ask was, what's going to quell people's fears? The understanding of this process of the crypto world.
I think there's a few fundamentals that need to be understood.
Okay.
To quail any fears. Again, these are fundamentals that are known, but people need to understand them. There's a difference between knowing and owning the knowledge, which means understanding is by what I mean by that, right? So when you understand something, you intrinsically, with your fibers, every fiber of your body, have absorbed the information and the knowledge, right? When you know something, it's simple surface. So I fear that people only know that Bitcoin is scarce and it's finite and there's only so many and blah, 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 blah. These are fundamentals that need to be understood and absorbed into like veracity. The truth of the matter is that Bitcoin will never be inflated. There will never be more Bitcoin. If, for instance, an ounce of gold today is $2,000, if next week an ounce of gold were to be $20,000, they would find much more gold. On the opposite side, Bitcoin being 30 grand, if next week Bitcoin was $250,000, they could not, for the life of them, find any more. There's this predetermined mining algorithm that gives you a set amount of Bitcoins that you can mine. Every 4 years, that amount halves. It halves. So if you get 6 today, in 2-3 years or in 4 years from now, say, you'd get 3. And then 4 years after that, you'd get 1.5. These are algorithmic fundamentals inlaid in the code of Bitcoin that cannot be changed, will not be changed. Bitcoin is decentralized. Everybody's heard that before. What does it mean? It means that Bitcoin has no door to kick in. You've heard that before as well. What does it mean to be decentralized? There is a network around the planet of what are called nodes that keep the ledger of every transaction up to date. no one can control all of the nodes. So those are some of the fundamentals.
So basically, this it cannot be controlled because there's individuals all over the world that have these nodes that they're checking in on.
That's correct. The nodes represent the digital ledger of every transactions that ever happened. And everyone around the world can have a node. It's open source, it's easy to have, and easy-ish to maintain. Now, what that does is that it secures the network from any state attack or any attack at all. It's just so different than any other crypto that exists.
And it's currency.
And it's currency.
So we got Tigger here. He's letting us know that the Quadrapod is being attacked by people that want in. But you know what? We have to close it down a bit to do these podcasts.
Right.
So Tigger's the background noise.
Tigger's the tiger.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that Bitcoin will not make you rich. Okay, there's casinos for that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to gamble, you could go to the casino, or you could have a poker game with the boys in the basement with sandwiches from the wife,
Mm-hmm.
or you could buy altcoins. Altcoins are anything else than Bitcoin. That's a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
With gambling, you may lose and you may win. A lot of people have won, much more have lost. I don't partake into altcoins.
Mm-hmm.
My only message is Bitcoin, for the simple reason that I intend to help people maintain their purchase value that they earned through their work and have that not thieved by the inflation of central banks.
Gotcha.
Whatever country you're hearing this
So
from.
this is a defense, really, to inflation rates on your stored value.
You're 100% correct.
Okay.
Kit. That's correct. It's a defense from the invisible thief standing right beside you that, is invisible, so we cannot see, but you can feel his hand in your pocket. You could feel it when you buy a brick of butter. You could feel it when you put the gas in your truck just to go to work.
Yeah, the prices just keep going up.
That's
it's like
right.
a little bit more, a little bit more.
Except-
chocolate bars are shrinking in size.
That's
Not that
right.
you should eat chocolate bars, but any food, any sort of packaged food seems to get smaller.
And the rents are going higher and the houses are going double the price in 2 years. These are not prices that are going up.
So at Quadrapod, what we do is we research and we hunt out things for health and wellness. And, wellness would be somewhere you could stake your money or your currency, and then that value won't be erased.
Correct. It's the only way to save in time the value of your work. Society has geared us to spend. They have steered us away from saving. And this steering away individual from saving for themselves has led to a society of consumption. We all know this.
Credit
we all
card
see this.
culture.
Credit card culture, and just spending what is not your bills. Most people work for the privilege of paying their bills, not to be homeless, not to be destitute, not to be hungry. They spend what they have earned, all of it, fast. Because last month the brick of butter was like $5, and today it's $6. So you're better off buying 20 bricks of butter at $5 than waiting every 6 months for it to go up and up and up. And same goes for many things in life, right? So if you had $100 million and you could buy a hotel 2 years ago, and you didn't want to buy the crack hotel for $50 million, and you waited 600, 700 days, well, that same $100 million will only buy you the $50 million hotel now. It's not that the $50 million doubled in price. It's that the value, the purchase power of your money has shrunk in half. Mm-hmm. So it's not butter that's going up. It's not rent that's going up. It's not gas that's going up. It's not housing it's the value of money that is plummeting. It is plummeting for many reasons, notably MMT, the new money,
Is that modern money theory?
modern money theory.
I don't know much about it, but I've heard that term
Well,
before.
it's a managerial, uh, nomenclature to explain the uh, the the management of money. It says, in short, that as a government, you can print as much as you like until you see inflation in the country. Meaning, you can send people $5,000, everybody gets $5,000, and it's wonderful, and they can consume again and so forth. But because of that, they will create inflation. That's when they start to stop. These are flawed.
That's why they increase the interest rates to try to
That's right.
pinch it off a bit. Yeah,
That's
it's kind
right.
of it's a back and forth between those two.
Yeah, and it's a losing proposition. Legacy finance is now just trying to keep their nose above water, but really they have anchors at their feet. They are sinking hard.
Is quantitative easing a part of that modern money theory, where there's something that is somehow buying bonds back, government bonds or something?
Yeah,
some way to-
buying government debt
Yeah,
in bonds for 30-year, 15 and 10-year leverages.
Yeah,
That
very
was part of
confusing.
the old system,
Hmm.
where quantitative easing was used to ebb and flow the economy. Now they have foregone quantitative easing. It's simple MMT, the
Hmm.
modern monetary theory, where they are just printing as much as they need in complete disregard of the economy. That's why you can have wars, endless wars, because the bullets are paid in dollars and the dollars cost nothing.
Mm.
So they print and pay the soldiers and
Well, I think
make
that
the
was why the
bullets.
British beat Napoleon, wasn't it? Back because they were able to print. They had some type of system where they were creating the currency out of nothing, and Napoleon was still working on some system of hard currency, I believe. I could,
Right,
could
right.
be wrong with that, but
Right. I'm not familiar too much with that history, and I should.
yeah.
I
Well,
should.
it seems like people at the top controlling the game to their best outcome.
Absolutely. And the more stocks you have and so forth, the better off you have, because you can get loans at very low interest rates to buy these things literally for free. And so now we see the camel's back break, where even if you hold stocks or bonds or anything, you are losing your money right now. It's tanking hard.
So this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was designed to have a correction to the currency system.
That is 100% correct, because the currency system now is completely corrupt. And what Bitcoin offers is a trustless and verifiable algorithmic issuance of currency.
Very good. So now you have countries that can follow and track, the cocaine investment countries that are doing, or the war investment and all of these trickeries that
It's
have
the
been
worst.
blinding people to the value of the plastic dollar that it's printed on.
Yeah, Bitcoin is the worst currency for any nefarious things, because every transaction is recorded on the blockchain forever.
Yeah.
And so what they're doing right now is that they can finance coups, they can finance wars, endless wars, hundreds of wars going on around the planet right now for free.
So this also came up with the trucker rally, a global stand-up to trashy bullshit. These guys all got together and went right to the Capitol, honking the horns,
That was
the
great.
yin attack. But they were sponsored. They were getting sponsored by Bitcoin, and then people were getting shut down. How was the government or the top sort of people in control able to to go after these people that were doing good things with their coins to create democracy around the country, but also show the world that we can stand up to tyrannies.
It's precisely because Bitcoin is not completely anonymous.
Okay.
Bitcoin is pseudo-anonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And so unless you use, coin joins and Bitcoin shakers like that, they could trace back the address to your name.
So then they implement physical
Punishment.
Yeah.
They close down your bank account. They do this, they do that, and the other thing if it's tied to a certain address, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's nefarious governments like Canada
Mm-hmm.
that'll do these things, right? But then we have like countries like El Salvador, which have adopted the Bitcoin standard, as well as Central Africa, who is in the midst of accepting the Bitcoin standard, where central banks will own Bitcoin and people in every store must accept it through the Lightning Network because now the transactions in Bitcoin are free.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that allows, it allows people, Bitcoin helps the most people who have nothing
Yeah.
because the value crashes upwards. So it's a very volatile asset and no one should try to get Bitcoin to sell it ever, right? Bitcoin is not an asset to get rich or, you buy it for say 30 grand and then it goes to $300,000. You're like, hoopla, I just turned my 10,000 bucks into $100,000.
But then you're going to spend it.
I better spend my
Yeah,
Bitcoin.
like,
Convert
what's
it
with
to
that?
the crap currency again.
Exactly. So you're changing your extremely valuable asset for crap currency, which should never be done. It must be understood that Bitcoin is a financial tool that must never be parted with.
So it is a savings plan.
It is 100% savings plan. It's like the real estate around Central Park.
My brother took me, I think I was 5 years old, and opened a bank account for me at the TD and had my little card and had my $5 in there. And I was like, wow. So now you take your 5-year-old to the Bitcoin wallet. You throw the Bitcoin in there and you say, this is the savings plan that's going to go up in value because it's designed to. Is it one fella designed this a while ago, or what's the background story on this?
So Bitcoin was created by what's known as an acronym. So it's Satoshi Nakamoto. It could be a group.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a man. It could be a woman. It's
Yep.
completely anonymous. They have disappeared from the picture. They're never coming back.
Yep.
They've launched this independent, algorithmically calculated issuance currency into the world, onto the
Open
internet.
source, correct?
Completely
Yeah.
open source,
That's why the creator's kind of irrelevant in that regard.
100% irrelevant. Now, what
Well,
to do
it's
with your
sort of the
Bitcoin?
savior, though. It's like it's
is.
really it's an invention of a currency that now can be bulletproof in people that are attacking other people or manipulating other people.
It's a way for individuals to save themselves,
Okay.
basically, right? I see it as an individual thing.
And it seems to be it's like a world just above your head. It's like this space that's sort of, you can't grasp on to it, but it's an idea. And so when people are thinking about this, they're like, well, I don't really get it. I don't understand how this idea will protect me. And there's so many other little things that are going on, like criminals learning how to steal, advancements in people taking wallets or forgetting passwords. And so all of this information, how do we clear all these false fears when it comes to the Bitcoin?
So I like to now untether
Yep.
almost from self-responsibility
Mm-hmm.
in a crazy way, because Bitcoin really is meant for you to be your own bank.
Yep.
When you own Bitcoin, you are an international bank. It's a powerful statement. What I
Yeah.
just said is that you are actually a banking entity, a regulation-less, international bank. And everything that a bank can do, you can do for yourself.
Wow, that's a great explanation.
It's amazing. So, but, as you mentioned, people lose their passphrase. People could get their nipples twisted and their passphrase taken and such things, right?
Yep.
So I untether from that responsibility. I steer people towards companies that are making so much money that they're not quitting.
Yep.
It's a bit like the new Rothschilds,
Gotcha.
right? They're
So it's like a support ecosystem. So the
It's-
Bitcoin has, the companies developing to give you tools as a bank.
That's correct. So now you can issue yourself loans, cash loans, which are tax-free, upon your collateral. Your own personal collateral of Bitcoin will give you access to cash money through the form of loans.
Rather than spending your
Rather
Bitcoin.
than selling your Bitcoin,
Selling.
creating a tax event, and then you got to pay the man.
Yep.
Like you have 100 grand in Bitcoin or 10,000 bucks of Bitcoin or $1,000 in Bitcoin. When you sell that Bitcoin, you owe 20 to 30% to the government. So that's that much less that you have. So say you have a house or a camper you want to buy for 100 grand because you turn your 10,000 into 100,000 bucks. Well, you're gonna like either take that $100,000 out in Bitcoin, sell it, and then give 30 grand to the government. So now you only have $70,000, and you don't have any more Bitcoin, and you're short 30 grand. Or you could wait a little bit more. That $10,000 you turn into 100 grand will soon turn into 200, and then you could take a $100,000 loan, 100% tax free. Meaning, when you take that loan in your bank account, you got 100 grand, and you could buy whatever it is you need to. And so that's the idea with these new companies, is to allocate your Bitcoin to them so they can lend it out to over-collateralized parties, which means that if said parties do not fulfill their contract, their over-collateral buys back the Bitcoin they borrowed.
No risk.
Zero risk. And they made sure of that because otherwise it's bad publicity and they're not going to make any money if people are saying, hey, what are they doing with our money?
So this is a smart new company that's jumped onto the ecosystem of cryptocurrency Bitcoin, and now we can use them to make smart decisions with our coins.
That's right. It gives us the opportunity to have the same finances as billionaires. Where billionaires and millionaires go and buy a $130 million painting, they don't hang that painting on their wall. They bring that painting to a liquidity company that will put them in their storage and then in turn give to the client the monetary liquidity, the cash money of the equivalent of the painting. With that loan, they get to buy anything they like, yachts, mansions, at 0% tax.
Whoa, this sounds like a very big loophole that has been being used for a long time.
From the old world,
Aha.
right?
Now,
Legacy.
old world meaning, the old fabric mills or
Establishment.
the established
The
sort of
establishment.
families.
The families.
Yeah.
Like when they bought Manhattan Island,
Yep.
certain families made sure there would be one huge park in the middle of that city, and they made sure that they would own all the real estate around that park. The owners of the real estate around Central Park are the descendants of those families. They never sell. Why? Because you could refinance all the time.
And it's growing in value. Real estate's similar to Bitcoin. Then it's an upward value based on the amount of population that's being created.
In a sense, you can't make more land.
That's right. Waterfront is very difficult to grab.
Right. But there are like the Bitcoin volatilities in the markets and such things,
Yep.
right? And again, it's all tied to people. I like Bitcoin because it's tied to no one. I don't have to trust anyone. I don't have to dress nice. I don't have to be polite to get my loan. If I got collateral, I'm getting the money. You see? And so that's the importance, because that's the equalizer. Instead of like having cronies and friends that could help out, or having to build relationships and this and that and the other thing to have a chance or an opportunity, with Bitcoin, you give yourself the chance and the opportunity to, in time, profit from your labor. So it's not about having a full Bitcoin. It's about working your butt off, getting the money, working more, getting more money, working better, getting a promotion, get more money. And besides the bill, you slide it all into Bitcoin. The reason is because you'll never sell. In time, the Bitcoin will be worth more than you purchased it, because it's a financial tool that everyone needs. So since it's a financial tool that everyone needs, since it's scarce and finite, I should say, it's not scarce, it's finite. It means there's no more of it. It means everyone who loses their Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is gone forever.
So the Bitcoin in growth, and it breaks down to satoshis. Give us a
Correct.
rundown on how, when the Bitcoins hit its max of available, how it kind of splits. So really, if you just have a little slice of Bitcoin, 20 years from now, it'll be lots of satoshis.
Yeah, every single Bitcoin is divided in 100 million Satoshis, meaning that if Bitcoin is $50,000, a million Satoshis is worth $500, right?
Yep.
And so you have $500, you buy yourself a million Satoshis, and one day, maybe for your descendants, when Bitcoin's worth $100 million, each Satoshi will be worth $1. So $500 will have turned into $1 million,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So that's the math, right?
So
now,
it's-
what will $1 million buy you in like 50 to 60 years from
Yeah.
now is a different thing, but more than $500, that's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So yes, it's not a get rich quick thing. It's a preserve the value of your work thing. It's a preserve yourself from the invisible thief thing. When you use a company like Nexo.io, because that's the company I recommend, and EXO.io.
And that's the company that you were speaking about, that you can place your Bitcoin in, and they help hold on to it and give you loans against it.
Exactly. That's called, in layman's term, passive income.
Okay.
As well as dividends, is that right?
That's right. You make
That's different than the loans.
That's correct.
Right? Yeah.
So you got your loans based on collateral that the company will allow you to take based on your own collateral. And then you got the interest or dividends that you make on said collateral, because they lend it out, they get a commish, and every day they slice you off. And every day that slice adds itself to the principal of your collateral. That means that the next day, since your collateral is the interest more than it was the day before, you're making more.
Yep.
So that's compound interest.
Yep.
And it becomes exponential.
Is that for all of the coins you have on the in your Nexo wallet, or is that you mentioned before we were speaking, to get their loans at different interest rates, you'd buy into their Nexo coin, and that would give you the opportunity to get different rates of loans.
100% correct.
But the dividends is just all the Bitcoin and Nexo coin you have in your Nexo wallet.
That's correct.
You're getting the dividends on all of that.
On all. If you got some Litecoin, some XRP, some Dogecoin, some BNB, some all sorts of different altcoins, you could funnel them all into the Nexo account, and you will be making dividends every day on each of those wallets. Now, there are indeed different tiers, and those tiers simply allow you to make more percentage dividend
Yep.
and also pay less of an interest on loans. It goes from bronze to silver to gold to platinum. At the platinum level, which requires you to have 10% of your portfolio value in Nexo tokens. So if you have $1,000 in Nexo, Bitcoin on Nexo, you need $100 in Nexo tokens. That will bring you to the platinum tier. That will allow you to borrow free money, because 0% interest loan is free money. That's incredible right there,
Yeah.
right? So on the other hand, with the zero loan, so you get interest-free loans, but you also make more dividends every single day. So it's worth being on a platinum level on that platform.
It sounds like a great way, a great tool to then amplify your abilities in finance.
And that's the perfect word, Kit, tool.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is a financial tool. Never to forget that there are millions upon millions of multimillionaires among us. Bitcoin being a financial tool simply allows everyone, from the baker to the grave digger, to the multimillionaire to the billionaire, every single entity of humans on earth can make the same percentage of interest on Bitcoin. That's a very powerful concept, because if you make 10% interest on your crypto, you could, if you put $100 million, you're making like $1 million every day nearly, right? So, or you're making $1 million every year or so. It's a very valuable.
It's high compounding.
I think it's
interest.
10 million actually. It's $10 million every year. So it's a better company, as it were. Because if you purchase or build a company for $100 million, it may take you many years for it to start to make $10 million every year. With Bitcoin, you put $100 million in Nexo, for instance, and you're making $10 million, right away. Right? So that's the concept. It's like all the businesses I could have started by selling my Bitcoin and then pay taxes on that will have all brought me less money than the interest I've made simply holding.
Gotcha. Now, with this way and with lots of people jumping on board with this, are we going to have shortages in workforces? Are there going to be other environmental things that come up based on a ascending value? Was this going to create countries of people just being wealthy? And
well, we got the robots coming down the corner here, Kit.
well,
so
I'm just wondering. I want to analyze the the good and bads that can happen in everything. So something so good for lots of people, maybe they dive down into sitting around and eating corn syrup all day.
Absolutely. Well, Robin brought out a good point, is that there is a huge there's a lack of work out there.
Yeah.
A huge lack of work. And now robots are coming in the picture on top of that. So you got overpopulation of the people.
Yep.
There's not enough work for everyone. And then they dare complain. So we can bring in robots that never do.
Yep.
And then there's going to be even less work for everyone. So instead of depending on the government giving us the money, which I adore, by the way. I'm not against the government, just
some sort of welfare type system.
Absolutely.
Where everybody gets a strip in to survive.
You bet. I'm not a maximalist of like quit the fiat or anything. It's Bitcoin and fiat could coexist. It's not a problem. But you're right. People who get into Bitcoin and do it right, it's not about getting rich. Again, it's about saving the value of your work in the long term. So I propose to people that they work their ass off, accumulate the Bitcoin as much as possible until one of two things happen. Either you are physically inept to generate sufficient income to pay your bills, or you don't have access to liquidity to do such things. Or secondly, the interest of your monthly dividends is greater than your monthly bills. So once your interest...
And your bills aren't rising.
Yeah, exactly, right? So the Bitcoin rises faster than inflation because it's super scarce. It's a financial tool that everybody should use, right? That anyone needs. And anyone who has extra scratch, extra money, They're putting it into Bitcoin because they're making free money like that. And what that does, it floats us all with them. As they keep pouring tons and tons of money into it, they float the value in our wallets with them. We just work. We're just grunts. We're working our asses off for the privilege of paying the bills. But if we work more and better, we could make an extra 10 or 15 bucks or 20 bucks and put it on the side, and that goes into the future. As where before, because it's a consumer society, we use all of the money we make. It's time to switch up the brain from spending to saving. Because ain't nobody going to be here for us when we get old. At the retirement, it's all going to be over, right?
And even with the current saving systems, you put your money in the savings account in the bank, and it rises slower than inflation. So you're actually, by the time you want to use the money later on in life, it's actually worth less than it was potentially.
You lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You lost
Like
a lot of
you
money.
put $100,000 in the 80s in a 6% a year savings
Interest,
fund, and it wouldn't be worth less than $100,000 now in terms of with the inflation included.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely.
So you could then put a system together for people where now they can see the results a month later. And
Absolutely.
so when you can see and watch the results, I guess, does it change? So this up and down, Bitcoin was 60, now it's 30, and what does that change in its bouncing around from time to time?
So the volatility, how it changes in our lives for everybody that follows the lifestyle guideline I'm laying out, because this is not financial advice, it's lifestyle advice. What that does is that it could liquidate people that have been too ambitious in their borrowing.
Okay, so some sort of techniques and being vigilant and careful has to be part of this.
There's only one technique to use, and that is not to borrow more than 10% of the value of your savings.
Very good. Very good. That's an important one.
It's extremely important because when you borrow less than 10% of your capital, you will never be liquidated because the market is not going to tank 90%. It might tank 50, it might tank 60. Heck, let it tank 70%.
Yep.
You're sitting pretty at 10. Right? So that's the only trick, is not to be greedy, overly ambitious.
Go buy that McLaren, go buy the whatever, anything that you think, because people are they have this idea that the grass, the lawn, the car, the house, and in competition with this payment. So it's always a bigger payment. It's always
you don't want to be flashy. This is not like a currency to flash. Although people have bought their Lambos, I disrecommend it. I have a couple Bitcoins myself, and I drive a 4.2.
Yep.
It's like a 7-foot long car.
A to B.
A to B, baby. And my clothes come from secondhand store. I got a torn up pair of jeans right now.
Yeah.
Giving a shit? Not.
Well, the torn up means it's real cotton and not much plastic in there.
That's right.
Yeah. So we definitely want to keep natural materials close to our body. And another thing, another
Just
question.
stay humble.
Well, another question I had for you, and we were talking about the old currency system of the silver and gold and its ability for health. So it's definitely healthy for the Bitcoin to keep going up in value because now you're going to be sheltered and fed, and your family's not going to be stressed. And we all know
that's one of the big ones.
That's a big one.
The health benefit is less stress.
Yes.
In many ways, yeah.
And it's and the thing that you look at when you have some Bitcoin, you don't look at the dollar value. It might be exciting when it goes up, but it's mostly frightening when it goes down because people have inexperience and they look at the value, the monetary value of what they think is an investment, and they think that they've lost money, which is not the case.
Well, that's because I guess if some people are staking or some people are doing different techniques
Or
that
trading.
are possible. Yeah, trading. And
So to remember that only 1% of traders ever make money.
wow.
99%
So
of traders lose their money.
This is kind of a game too.
Traders in just
Ain't
a
no
broad
game.
sense, you mean?
This is serious business.
Yeah.
It's the game of losing all your shit.
Okay.
So zero trading for our fam.
Yep.
We don't trade.
Nice. Hodl, they call it.
We hodl.
Yeah,
I
okay.
say we hodl and accumulate.
That's an important one to talk about and to know.
It's crucial.
So give us a little rundown on this this pit of danger that people can get in. Oh, I'm going to stake it. Oh, if I staked it the other day, I would have made this. So that's gambling.
That's gambling. If you use different companies, I recommend staking your Bitcoin on Nexo.
Yep.
Because I've verified their background and I've done my due diligence on every individual who started that company, and I know I understand the families that are behind it.
Well, that's a really good sentence there, because if people are taking the time to do what you just said, then they're going to understand it better and they're going to protect their self. And I think that's a really important step.
Yes, this is not the money for the rich. This is the money for the people. Well, it's money for the rich as well if they want it, because they get it, and most of them don't. But what we're trying here is to speak to the fabric of society, the people who make our families and who we see every day. Bitcoin is for us, you all. It's for us. We work too hard to lose our purchase power within a couple of months. This is too much. It's been going on obviously in Venezuela and Brazil and Argentina.
Does that just keep the hard work coming? Is that why? It's kind of keep the hard work force there. Keep the hard work labor. Get these ants working. Get these ants working.
That's right. Eat, sleep, and shut up.
Yep.
Well, technology was supposed to have created this utopian society of us relaxing for 16 hours of the day, and it seems like most people are working more and more.
Right. For less and less.
And for less and less. Yeah.
That's right. And that's for the less and less that we're here today. All three of us are talking about having more and more. But this is not a lottery ticket.
No.
It's it's the adult thing to do. It's the mature thing to do. It's understanding that we cannot trust our central banks. No matter what country you come from, their fundamental ideas are flawed and old and over.
Well, it sounds like it's a day in the life of yourself, and you breathe and you put out energy and you work over here and you eat over, and so it's really just watching what you do during that day to only do something that works. In a survival situation, you're not going to waste energy so that you can get into a dangerous situation. Now, the dangerous situation day to day is that you're working all day, and then the inflation is beating you down of all that work effort, and you're not catching up.
That's the dangerous situation today.
You're not catching up.
You're 100% correct, Kit. You cannot work hard enough to catch up to the inflation. They are stealing everybody's money. And that is the danger zone right now, is to do nothing. The only buoy we have is to actually act, and act for ourselves, because that's all that really matters at the end of the day. We need more time to enjoy the people we love. And the only way we can have more time to enjoy the people we love and whom love us back is to have the financial sovereignty to be independent of any system. That will allow us to simply embrace each other, right? So it's a little utopian, but that's just a fact that I've experienced myself, that wealth is not money-based, success is not social status-based. Wealth in a man is freedom-based, and success in a man is loyalty-based. The more people who love you and the more people you love, the more success you have. The more time on your hands that you have to enjoy those people, the wealthier you are.
Well said. Wow.
That is why
You're not going to hear that on any news
That's
across
why-
the country, bro.
quote-unquote bums are wealthier and have more success than millionaires or billionaires that have money and social status, where people gaze up to them. That is not success. That is why those people, the millionaires and the billionaires, have deep wells of discontent and unsatisfaction within them. And that is why a quote unquote bum feels fulfilled, content, and satisfied
So
with his buddies on the side of the road because he has 100% time of his life and very loyal friends to spend it with. So society has steered us wrong in many ways, not only into spending and not saving, but also thinking through social media that money is wealth and a social status is success. These are flawed concepts that we're embracing as fundamentals.
Yep.
I want to untether everybody from social media, from trying to be gazed upon by others, from faking their life so they're more attracted to anyone else but themselves. I want people to stop chasing the money and hurting each other to accumulate something that's losing purchase power. I want people to augment the free time in their lives. I want people to love each other more than they are. And Bitcoin is the way.
Yeah, well, that sounds like an operation that has been taken underway by either a group of people or an individual to stop this current fiat system of weakening people's financial energy savings.
And lives.
Yeah, and lives
And energy.
because of it.
And
Because
spiritual energy as
Yeah.
well. Because money is a fundamental in human life. It's fundamental like water and air to be remunerated for your efforts.
yeah,
It's not about expecting more for what you put out. It's about existing.
well,
That's what's being humans about.
I've just realized that breath, oxygen in is sort of our number one requirement for using our brain, for running, for anything in life. So when you expel breath and spend breath effort and you don't get that returned over a period of 60 years, that's the what you're saving. That's what you're showing people, a way to change this. You know, our fathers in the past going through a lifetime of chasing this interest rate and then, you know, drinking it away at the end of life because of their sorrows, because of their unfulfilledness. All of these system cracks it seems like this new world that's being created is a savior. It's a twist of fate that's going to open up mankind.
I would go as far, personally, to say that Bitcoin is a godsend.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin, as it turns out, is a miracle for humankind.
Yeah.
Bitcoin will stop the wars. Bitcoin will implement peace by vote.
Now, these are very powerful statements. We have events here quite a bit, food events and things going on, and what I would like to propose is a group of people coming together to talk and discuss Bitcoin, its crypto. You said altcoins. You know, these are smaller tools that are jumping into this ecosystem that's being grown. And what I want to do is bring together conversation from people around Victoria and the world, eventually going through to Skype or some other technology to be able to talk face to face with other people that have.
Well, there's like Bitcoin Magazine, for instance.
Yeah.
We can contact Bitcoin Magazine. Shout out to Bitcoin Magazine.
Awesome.
They do great work, and they're grassroots like us. They're people.
Very cool.
We're people. They're people, and we're just trying to spread the message.
I like how you say that, grassroots, because it is important to know that there's no sort of funding backer that is controlling information. This powerful tool of sharing information.
Yeah, we're here out of our hearts, not
Yeah.
out of necessity.
That's right.
Right? We're not here getting paid.
No, and people know from our previous podcasts. We take experts in fields of study, that are doing amazing things for people's health, wellness, and financial security. And this is what we like to share because this is the truth.
I would definitely steer people away from altcoins
Okay.
and any digital currency that is not Bitcoin. I am not a financial advisor.
Yep.
I can only speak of lifestyle, a lifestyle of non-slavery, where you are being thieved day and night from your efforts. Your hard efforts are being dwindled to nothing. And I propose that you don't invest in Bitcoin. I propose that you don't speculate into Bitcoin. I propose that you do not gamble into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is none of those. Bitcoin is a conversion from a deflationary monetary system. Wherever country you're from, your money's going down. It's a conversion from that money into an inflationary, a money that gains value, through time because of scarcity and also because it's a financial tool and you make money when you have it. Because people who are smarter than us know how to make a whole lot more of money with just a little bit, and then they put it back in the pool. That's where we benefit, because otherwise we're prone to losing our Bitcoin keys. We're prone to the $5 wrench attack, right? That's the cheapest hack there is. Somebody comes in with a wrench, busts a couple of knees, poke your eyes out, okay, give me the bloody phrase. And you're going to give it up. Except if you're on Nexo.io, you can lock up your Bitcoin into contracts that are 3 months, a year long, with dates that you have zero control of, and you cannot withdraw your Bitcoins from those contracts. You simply don't have access to them. You don't, and the interest that you make every day, not once a month or once a week or whatever, like legacy, every day compounds to the principal automatically.
Very cool.
And then what you have access is debt. So you live on debt, except you live on your credit card, except you're the credit card. You're the bank behind the credit card. That's why, there's limits,
Yeah.
but they're over the top. Like, sure, you could, borrow more than you need, but that is, I'm not a mathematician. I don't think if that's good.
And once you have secured this work value for your family, you've now changed the system that you practiced before. What are some of the other things that then come to light with this new time or this new ability? Are you starting art projects? Are you getting out into the forest more? Are you bettering other aspects? Because what I see is time management.
Well, what I see in society is people's time being taken away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you work for nothing, that means you could have done something else. In a sense, you're creating generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
After your time has passed and your children keep adding to the family pile, it augments the collateral of the family, which augments the borrowing rate, right? So forever, just like the descendants of the people who have buildings around Central Park refinance those buildings and keep living the life, same can do the descendants. And what will they do with that time? They will be able to share with other people of their time. They will be able to share their thoughts, share their art, be with others, bring in people together again.
What class of people is this going to be named, or what? It's the middle class, or all these names that they're attached to things. This is going to create a different set of people around the world, and you see that with the NFTs and all of these other explosions of the meta universe and
people making millions of dollars in a week, in a month.
Yeah.
Too easy, right? You could go on the Ethereum protocol.
Mm-hmm.
There's open contracts or open source contracts. We could just copy paste, right? And then you simply change the font and a couple of graphics, and you got the same protocol going. You can make 10,000 NFTs in an afternoon, right? Depending on your social reach, you might be able to get a lot of the money.
Yep.
And then you do what's called a rug pull, and you get all of the money.
Yep.
It's no problem.
A lot of Ponzi
That's not what I'm
schemes,
here
though.
for, right?
No,
I'm not here to.
but I'm just sort of diving into
For sure.
the new world that this is going to create is going to be a multiple sort of faceted, wild existence.
I think that's a
Absolutely.
pretty deep well, so I don't think we'll get into that in this cast
Yep.
today, just
Yep.
because we're coming up on about an hour, so
Okay.
we should probably wrap it up.
Well, I
Because
think
there is, like you said, there is so many
there's
of
so
these,
much to-
these things blossoming, which many of them do seem to be Ponzi schemes and all sorts of other
Yep.
trickery.
There are opportunities in the metaverse. There are opportunities in the NFTs. There's opportunities in the shitcoins and altcoins that exist. I bank on people opportunity. I want people to do better, to work more, to work harder and better so they get a promotion and get more cash and stay humble. I want people to stay humble. That's the only people that I'm talking to. If you're here to invest in Bitcoin, get out of the room. You're in the wrong spot. If you're here to speculate on Bitcoin, get out. If you're here to gamble, you're listening to the wrong guy. This is not me. And I'm not going to give you any tips and tricks to like get rich. I'm going to tell you to stay healthy, work harder, work better, augment the people you love and the people that love you. Work as hard as you can to augment the free time in your life so you have wealth, and put everything else into Bitcoin because you're never going to sell it. Your children are never going to sell it. You are only accumulating Bitcoin. The only number you need to look at when you're looking at Bitcoin is how much of it you have. How many Satoshis do I have? You could get 1 million Satoshis, that's about $300 today. And it was $600. It was $600 a few months ago, right? So it tanked, and now I believe that we've reached the bedrock of the market, right? Where the early May of 2022, and it's tanked now from 60 grand to about 30, if not 29, right? And now we've rebounded. We're at 32, 33. I believe that to be the bedrock yesterday, right? So now's a good time to put in your earned money. That's a bit why as well we're doing this today, is because the market's in the slump, and nobody talks about Bitcoin when it's in the slump.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about Bitcoin when it's super high. It's super interesting. It's super flashy. Look at all the money I made. But you didn't make any, because if you made money, that means you paid taxes on them. The only thing you need to do with Bitcoin is accumulate. So I'd rather talk about Bitcoin when it's worth nothing and tell the people now is the time to buy, right? So thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks again for coming on, G. And so, folks,
You bet.
please comment as well if you'd be interested in coming by for some type of group crypto discussion that may happen in the short future here. And tune in next time. G will be back within probably a week or two to discuss a few more avenues that he feels would be valuable to discuss, and as well as we will come up with some more questions that we can ask, and we'll go from there.
Thanks very much, Jay, and thanks, Robin.
Yeah,
what
tune
What a
in.
great cast to keep people above board and protect them.
Yeah,
themselves.
thanks for having me, guys. It's been a blast.
Right on. Tune in next time to Quadrapod Studios. Check us out on the social media, Quadrapod Studios Facebook, Instagram, and we will talk to you next time. Adios.
See you later. Nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Shaboosh.
Well,
Thanks for all